Okay, good afternoon, everyone. First off, and most important, thank you for joining us today on the final Levinson and Associates weekly training webinar of 2020. So I hope you all had a great holiday. I hope everyone has a happy new year, of course. Let's pray and hope that things start to get better around the world. I feel like we're seeing some improvement with this vaccination, but hopefully things get better for everyone. And, you know, what I wanted to point out is a few things as far as our industry is concerned as a whole. We have, and I think this is great to know, number one, IUL sales is up 2 to 3%. Total IUL sales from the prior year is up 2 to 3%. There's a LIMRA statistic that we're going to share in a few more minutes. But the point is, yes, this is a horrible time for our economy, for our country, for the world. But as insurance agents, right, financial professionals, I think that it's a great time to reach out and help these families because, you know, let's face it, everybody's at home right now, number one, right? They're sitting around the lunch table or dinner table and the kids are there and they're looking at the breadwinner, mom or dad, saying, hey, you know, if they get COVID and they pass on, right, are we going to be okay? Do we have a life insurance policy, mom and dad? Right? And then hopefully that phone call generates and it goes to you. That's the goal. So you need to be out there marketing online through social media, through e-blasting, through your network. I would be hosting these webinars that we're on right now at least once a day. And if you have 2 people on, great. If it's 20, even better. But you have to get the word out there and brand yourself, just like what we're doing at Levinson and Associates. You know, and I look at some of the carriers. I look at some of the big social media influencers, like a Gary Vaynerchuk, for example, and I look at what they're doing, not by their words, by their actions. And you should be doing the same thing, okay, with us. It could be with a mentor. It could be with some of the insurance carriers. But anyway, they always say you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? Just add a few more spokes, right? And get creative and scrappy. And, you know, along those lines, I think I want to point out this other item that I think this is so important. One of our agencies, right, he is actually up over 60% in 2020 over 19. And what I did is I told him I couldn't believe it. And by the way, it's not like they can make this up because we see the numbers. So I told him, I said, listen, our agents would love to hear from you to see what you're doing. So great news. He is our official guest speaker on the Bill Levinson Experience podcast for January. So we're going to kick off the Bill Levinson Experience podcast with one of our top agents who's up 60%. So anyway, I'm going to pick his brain for 1 hour, and then you all get to listen and let me know your thoughts, and hopefully you can learn and have some great takeaways. I call them nuggets, right, to help change your practice, especially for the new year, for 21. So anyway, I think if you survive this, which obviously you did because you're all on this call right now, and you're in a good place right now, I think 21, you are going to crush it, okay? Because good, bad, and different, what this whole pandemic did, it kind of weeded out, you know, let's say everybody that was kind of hanging out in the middle to the top, you know, and everybody that survived, they're going to be off to the races in 21. The same thing with IMOs and insurance companies. But the ones that were kind of hanging out at the bottom, right, that maybe didn't have great momentum even going into 2019, right, in the beginning of 20, they're gone. They're in other industries now. So obviously that's not all of you. So I truly believe in trying to find a little bit of positive light in every situation. And when you hear our guest speaker, you're going to see exactly why I'm saying this. And also, if you look at this IUL chart, I'm going to show you in a few minutes, you're also going to believe exactly what I'm saying. Okay, and us as an IMO, we're up over last year. I mean, I think we would be up much higher if it wasn't for the pandemic, but we made it. We have all of our employees, everybody's healthy, everything's okay. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I hope you all are in the same exact position. Okay, what we're going to talk about today is the only IUL sales software platform, okay, number one, that is carrier compliant, even with this new AG 49 ruling. Very, very important. 9 carriers have approved this platform. And as a Levinson agent, okay, number one, I'm going to tell you this, there's a way to access this completely free. Okay, I always like to bring lots of value. It's my job to go out and find what works and what doesn't. And if it works, I try to bring it to you all at no charge or a huge discount. Or I want to make sure that it's almost like a Costco approach versus the neighborhood grocery store, right? When we talk and deal with these vendors, we have to say to them, listen, we have 19,000 agents. Our agents need to know that they're getting either a complimentary platform or the best deal ever versus finding you on the street. So that's exactly what we're going to chat about today. And I'm also going to say this, okay, and we're going to show you a coupon in about 30 minutes, but we're going to show you how to access everything at no charge, or you can call in if you want a little taste of the platform. Call in, okay, if you have a specific client you want us to run an illustration for, we'll take care of everything, obviously at no charge to you. Or if you want full access to the platform 24/7, which includes a complete turnkey sales kit and platform that we're going to show you in a little bit, the normal price is $2,500 a year. As a Levinson agent, it's $1,800 a year. That's a $700 savings. Or call one of our marketers. We can run the illustration for you and show you exactly how it works, give you a little taste. Hopefully you'll make a sale and then say, you know what, this is worth every penny spent. And then obviously you'll jump into the VIP package, or just rely on our marketers. Whatever is convenient for you, we're here to help. Okay, so just know that. Okay, let's move forward here. What I want to do is highlight AG 49. We're hearing a lot about this right now. And the reason why is because this all took place December 14th. IUL products, okay, as a whole, have changed the way their illustrations run, especially on the current side. Okay, so that's an important point there. If you have an illustration, let's say you had prior to December 14th, no problem. If it's something you need after, let's say today, we can rerun these illustrations for you, no problem. Just call one of our marketers and we will be more than happy to help. And then everything that you're about to see today is 100% carrier compliant and AG 49 compliant. Okay, so you can feel comfortable knowing that. All right, also, what we're going to do is at the end of today's presentation, we're going to ask a question that has to do with one of the slides, as we always do, right? So you got to be paying attention, jotting down notes, and whoever answers the question first and correctly wins your choice of the Amazon Echo or the Amazon Fire tablet, or I'll just give you a $50 Amazon gift card. So make sure you're on until the end. Very important. Okay. What you're looking at in front of you, this was that LIMRA statistic that I was talking about earlier. So as you can see, IUL sales up just over 2%. Okay, and this is a big one. Total IUL sales for the third quarter during a pandemic, okay, keep that in mind. Third quarter of 2020 was just over $500 million. The average target premium paid was just under $11,000, an increase of nearly 2% from the prior quarter. Okay, now this is a big one. Look at the bottom left corner. Nearly 67% of sales through products with a primary pricing objective of cash accumulation. So people are concerned. Yes, they want a death benefit, but the main focus is cash accumulation, cash value. So this is my favorite part. Look at the right-hand side. Look at the top 3 carriers, LSW, Emeritus, and Allianz, okay? Guess what? They also happen to be our top IUL carriers. And what I love about number 1, LSW, they have had no changes during this whole pandemic. So their promise, even in 2019, was that they are going to make things bigger and better, as always, right? And not go into the reverse gear. And they did exactly that. And now non-med up to $3 million with built-in living benefits. We love LSW. And you can also run LSW on the platform you're about to see. Emeritus, also very strong. Allianz, huge in the IUL space, up to $2 million now. Non-med, these are all very competitive products, not just here at Levinson, but industry-wide, okay? Top three, number 1, 2, 3, LIMRA statistics. So as you can see, it's not just me sitting here trying to hype everybody up, okay? The proof is in the pudding, as they say. This is what's going on in our industry right now in the middle of a pandemic. IUL sales skyrocketing, even with AG 49, okay? And we can share the actual stat with you. In fact, Joe, let's include this in today's thank you email that everybody will get, by the way, before the day is up. Okay, let's move forward here. So real quick, what I wanted to highlight is 18 direct IMO contract carriers with Levinson through Levinson. And the best part, look at the red asterisk, okay? And the reason why I'm saying that is when you look at the Stonewood platform and what Tyler is going to go over, okay, on top of a free 1-year scholarship for your client's child or grandchildren or any blood relative, this is a slam dunk IUL sale. And with the average target premium of just under $11,000, okay, look how this can make your new year, right? I mean, think about this. It's huge. I don't know, and I mean this, a parent or grandparent, right, that you're going to come across after you show the sales presentation and say, by the way, little Johnny, right, or little Kimmy is going to get a $40,000 scholarship to our 419 colleges across the country just as an added benefit because I'm a Levinson agent, okay? I don't know anyone that's going to say no to that. They're not paying any more premium. There's no commission reduction for you. It's just another value add by working with us. That's it. It's that simple. We pay the monthly fee associated to the SAGE program, okay? But by you being with us, you get access free on top of what Tyler is about to show you. So anyway, make note of that. 18 direct IMO contract carriers plus the red asterisk is all scholarship approved carriers and products. Okay, so just keep this in the back of your mind as Tyler's going through his presentation. All right, let's move forward here once again. I've never seen anything like this platform that Tyler is going to jump into. And the best part is it is the only carrier compliant IUL consumer sales software system that is approved today by 9 different insurance carriers. Okay, that is huge. Nobody else has it. I'll put that in writing. Obviously, I'm on the record today by recording this webinar. Nobody else has anything like this. Very, very cool stuff. Also, what I want to do, you know what, Joe, and I just thought about this. For the winner today, at the end, we're going to ask our question of the day, as you know. And I'm also going to give you one of the IUL prospecting books that's part of the platform on us. So we'll put that on top of the tablet or the Echo. Okay, that's on me. And I want everyone to see how important and valuable this stuff is. We have agents that give out these books, and everything's in layman terms, by the way. We have agents that give these out and just say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Client, do me a favor, read this when you get a chance. This is my Christmas, Hanukkah gift to you. The only thing I ask is when you're done, let me know your thoughts. And they're using it to set appointments, obviously online or over the phone, but it works. I promise you it works. Okay, let's move forward here. So, and also you can see bottom right corner, we show you exactly how you can get the whole VIP platform for free. We pay for everything, but obviously you got to produce. Okay, it's $20,000 of IUL Premium in a year, which, by the way, you're looking at what is that, 3 cases? Okay, if you look at the average, 2-3 cases, that's nothing, and we pay for the whole platform. Okay, let's jump in here, Joe. All right, so without further ado, I want to introduce Tyler Randall. He's our National Sales Director. He's got some great information to share. Pen and paper ready. Tyler, welcome to the webinar. Yep, Tyler, you there?
Hey, Bill. Thanks for having me. appreciate that. And thank you all for joining us today. We know your time's valuable, so I want to make sure this time well spent, and I think that you will find that it is. I'm just going to take you through a little bit about Stonewood and who we are, what we do, and show you really how we're helping. If you're doing IUL business, we'll help you do more by making the process simple and compliant and easy to share and open and close clients. If you are not doing IUL, because it is and can be complex, we're going to show you a very simple track, not only to market, but also to present and close business. And everything that we do, we have a very extensive training around. So you're going to see an introductory to what those resources are. And I was on a call just like this about a month ago, and this was kind of an internal Stonewood call, but people were dialing in and checking us out. And we had, just like Bill had talked about, the books I'm about to share with you, we had an agent that came on, signed up with Stonewood, started delivering this book, delivered 10 books, and put 3 cases for an average of $30K in target premium in underwriting in 30 days. And this is not uncommon. What we're going to share with you has worked over the last several years, and it's been very effective in getting appointments and gaining interest in the power of IUL. And it's very simple for people to see the value and to want to talk to you as a resource to helping them with their financial future. So let me just share with you a little bit about Stonewood. We are a software and marketing and consulting company that's here just to help you increase your IUL sales and revenue, and we do it by making things simple. We make marketing simple. We have 2 books that I'm going to share with you. They're both about 100 pages, and they're designed to engage 2 different demographics. The first one is this New Rules of Retirement Savings, and it's for your young savers, 20 to 60-year-olds that are still saving for retirement and using IUL as a 401k alternative. So this is great for your young professionals, business owners, doctors, lawyers, those types of clients that are saving for retirement. The other book that we offer is called the No Compromise Retirement Plan. And this one is for your 60-year-old plus clients and prospects. They've already accumulated assets in some sort of qualified account. And this is really where the lion's share of our business is being done, is that we're having a very purposeful conversation with these folks and saying that we know we should know what taxes are going to be between now and 2026. We've got a window of time to potentially take some dollars out of your retirement plan, pay the taxes now while taxes are historically low and they're a known quantity, and fund a tax-free vehicle. And our CEO, Martin Ruby, he's the author of this book. Bill mentioned this book is layman's terms. It's 100 pages. He writes his own personal story of why he converted $500,000 of his own money from his IRA to an IUL. He shows the tax benefits he intends to get, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars of tax savings in retirement. And he shows the income generation that he intends to get from those tax savings, which is, again, an additional $100,000 plus of income, and the risk reduction he gets from the IUL and the indexing that is involved. And so he really encourages the reader, once they've read this book, to talk to the agent or advisor professional that gave them the book and to see if this strategy would work for them. And our average case size on books like or on cases like this is somewhere around $50,000 of target premium. They're large cases. They're very much redeploying assets, paying the taxes now, and showing the reasons why. And I'm going to show you the software we use to present the concept. But these books, both of them are available in hard copy form as well as an electronic ebook, so that you could email them out. And if somebody will take and invest an hour in reading these books, they're going to come to you, and it's really going to be a very short sales cycle. They're going to already be sold on IUL. They're going to say, show me the specific value that I would get for my personal situation. And that's where our software comes in, where you can create custom reports and show a client exactly their tax savings, exactly their income creation from IUL versus just systematic withdrawal from an IRA or qualified account, and show the risk reduction through the indexing. It tells a very powerful story. And I'm going to show you those reports that we would present here in just a second. But just know both books are available for you to market with. They've been very powerful. We've had lots of people that the only thing they changed about their business this last year is utilize the books, and they've increased their IUL sales several $100,000s of dollars. Both books, by the way, are also available in PowerPoint form. So if you want to deliver a webinar like this and have content available to do that, it's available. It's in our marketing catalog, and you can download and utilize it. It comes with speaker notes. There's sample videos on our site of the material being presented. We have what we call, Bill mentioned these nuggets. We call them the same thing. We have a file in our marketing catalog called Stonewood Stories that allows you to story sell from this material and make very powerful presentations. So all of this is available to you to utilize. If you're doing any podcast or radio or TV, we have show ideas and content in our marketing catalog for that. And there's a number of client one-pagers and white papers if you just want to do a drip marketing campaign with email, different content on a regular basis. There's a ton there that you can use. And once you have interest then from a client or prospect, that's where our software comes in, and you can create some custom tax analysis, show people the huge tax savings you can help them with by utilizing IUL, the hundreds of thousands, some cases millions of dollars of tax savings by working with you and implementing some of these strategies. The income analysis showing how much income they can create from a tax-free source versus a taxable product like an IRA or 401k that is, taxes rates move up, they're really going to be impacted. A tax-free source of income won't be as impacted if we see a higher tax environment in the future. And then where a lot of people stumble and fall on presentations, they get caught up in cost and they get this objection. They don't know how to overcome it. We have a very simple presentation for that I'll show you here over the next 15 minutes or so that you can see how you can overcome that cost objection very easily and quickly. So these are the marketing resources, the books, the PowerPoints, the client one-pagers, all available to you. Let me share with you just some case studies and show you kind of how we would present to a couple of different types of clients that I'm sure you have several that might look like this or prospects that look like this. This would be under that new rules of retirement savings. Those, a client, he's in his 40s, he's got a couple $100,000 in a 401k, and he's continuing to fund it. And what we're going to talk to him about is tax diversification. And just like any other risk, market risk, longevity risk, health risk, any risk that you're trying to address with a client, tax risk is a huge risk. And I think if you ask clients right now, do you think taxes are going to be lower or higher over the next 30 years of your retirement? What are they going to say? I mean, most people are in the camp that taxes are probably going to be moving up and probably going to be higher. Does it make sense for us, Mr. and Mrs. Client, to defer hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars into a higher tax environment where we're paying taxes at a higher rate? Or would it make more sense for us to fund something that would be tax-free so that we could avoid some of that risk because we've already got plenty of money in this tax-deferred account? I think you'll start to get the wheels turning with that type of conversation. And we make it easy. So you can jump on our software and create a tax report to present to a client. And so for John here, here's what we would present. If John, you continue to fund your qualified account with this $16,000 a year from age 40 to 65. The benefit to you is this: $83,000 of deferred taxes. These are taxes that you normally would have to pay. If we weren't inside the qualified account, we can defer them. We can kick that can down the road. But it's this next number we show clients on a report that is kind of an eye-opener, which is once you get to age 65, John, and you start taking a systematic withdrawal or spending this 401k down, over your lifetime, you're going to pay over $300,000 in taxes. And that's a big number. That's a lot of taxes that are going to go to the IRS. What you're looking at on the screen right now is a one-page of an 8-page tax report. But this is the page we present to clients and say, Mr. and Mrs. Client, John, wouldn't it make sense if we funded a tax-free vehicle, and in that way we could avoid that $300,000 tax bill altogether? That is an eye-opener for a lot of folks. And so this report is a great way to start that conversation and show somebody, in this case, how to avoid a $300,000 tax bill by funding a tax-free vehicle like an IUL versus continuing to fund and defer taxes into a higher tax bracket in the future. And this report really gets people's eyes open, and it's something that can start a conversation and start getting a funnel of IUL business for those saver clients. So what we tend to talk about is find your folks that are saving for retirement, run these reports for them, get them a one-pager, get them the book, let them see the value in it. And when they come back to you, you have a tax report available that you can show them the numbers, and it'll create a huge funnel of this type of business for you so you can write IUL cases on a regular basis. So this is for our 20 to 60-year-olds saving for retirement. The other age group that we target, and this is really where the larger cases lie, is 60-year-old plus, the baby boomers, folks that already have accumulated dollars in a retirement plan. And our example here, Jim has $1.5 million in an IRA. He's in the 25% tax liability now. And again, we're going to talk to him about tax diversification. Could it benefit Jim by taking some of the money out of the IRA? We're going to identify $500,000 or a third of his portfolio of his IRA. And over the next 5 years, take $100,000 out each year, pay the taxes, and fund an IUL. Could that benefit you, Jim? Could we help save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes by paying some taxes now and funding a tax-free vehicle? Well, let's find out. So our report that we run is fairly simple, and you can see the hypothetical example down there at the bottom. We're analyzing $500,000. We're going to have Jim currently in the 25% tax rate until 2026. And what happens in 2026? Well, we all know that the current tax code sunset, and it means it's going to mean the tax rates increase for most Americans. And in this case, we're showing a tax increase to 32.5%. So not a huge raise, but a slight increase. And we're going to keep him in that tax rate for the rest of his life until age 90. We have him passing, and at which point he'll pass his IRA on to his family. And we have the beneficiaries 30 years from now inheriting this money at a slightly higher tax rate, 35%. Not uncommon for beneficiaries to be in their prime earning years, and those prime earning years their tax rate could be much, much higher than 35%. But we think this is a pretty conservative view of the next 30 years of what taxes could look like for Jim. These are inputs in the software, so you can control them. You could be more aggressive, more conservative, however you'd like to do it, and we can certainly help you with that. The IRA account growth of this portfolio we have at 5.25%. Again, an input in the software that you can control. So what does taxes look like for Jim if he keeps his IRA and at 72 starts taking his required minimum distributions and dies with this account at age 90? Well, Jim's going to pay over $200,000 in taxes just from required minimum distributions. That's a big number in and of itself. Some people don't ever see that number in an aggregate like this. And that's a big eye opener to say almost half the value of your current account is going to be paid in taxes just from your required minimum distributions. That can really be an attention grabber. If somebody is going to reinvest these required minimum distributions, in other words, they're not spending them as they come out, they're giving them back to you and saying, hey, could you just invest these for me? I don't need the income. The investment vehicle is oftentimes a non-qualified taxable account, and the IRS will tax the dividends and interest to the tune of about $65,000 if a client chooses to do that. So we have a line item here. This is your taxes on RMDs, $210,000. Here's if we choose to reinvest those as they come out, you'll pay another $65,000 in taxes over your lifetime, and then taxes at death. The remaining value taxed or transferred to the beneficiaries, and the tax that they would pay is about $143,000. So if we look at this in total, Jim's going to pay little over $400,000 in taxes on a $500,000 account. And that's a big number. And in some cases, the numbers, depending on how you run them, can be much, much larger. On a $500,000 account, very easily you could have $600,000 or $700,000 or $800,000 in taxes just by being a little bit more aggressive with the return numbers or the tax assumptions. And that gets people's attention. And now you're able to pivot and say, this is what you're on track to pay tax-wise. People come to me and work with me because I can help do what we call macro tax planning, which is most CPAs, most people in the tax arena look at taxes on a micro basis, meaning 2020 taxes, 2021 taxes. How do I reduce them? Our practice, we look at macro tax planning, which is how can I help you reduce your taxes hundreds of thousands of dollars in retirement? How can I save you significant tax dollars? Well, in this case, if we convert this $500,000 that we're analyzing, $100,000 a year, into a tax-free Roth or IUL. And by the way, we have to use Roth because it's compliant here, and we'll talk about how we pivot to IUL in a second. But it's actually not compliant for us to present a IUL as an option on the same page or report as an IRA. So we use Roth. And if we look at the conversion amount, we could minimize those taxes down to $125,000. Once we're in a tax-free vehicle, there's no taxes on the growth, no taxes at death. The way our report looks, and again, this is one page of an 8-page report, but it very clearly shows, Mr. and Mrs. Client, here's your tax liability if you keep doing what you're doing. In fact, just stay status quo, you're going to pay about $420,000 in taxes. If we convert to a tax-free Roth or IUL, we could minimize those taxes down to $125,000. That's a $300,000 tax savings we're sharing with this client for a portion of their IRA. And by the way, this is funding a $75,000 a year 5-pay, which is huge. I mean, in these types of cases, you will see very common with folks that have, qualified money, $300,000 probably plus is where we would look at converting a portion of these dollars and showing them the tax benefit like this. In this case, it's very apparent for somebody. They don't have to be a math guy or, an engineer to figure out that $300,000 in tax savings is a big deal, and you're helping them with that. And no one else is showing people this right now. The folks that we have that are doing hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars of target premium are really going after this marketplace and saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, we have a window here between now and 2025 to really evaluate whether tax diversification and paying some taxes now will make sense for you. Get some money out of that qualified account, pay the taxes, and fund a tax-free vehicle. And this report helps show that. So remember, there's a book and a webinar that you can market with. When somebody says, hey, I'm interested in learning if this is a value for me, you get on our software and you make a presentation like this. And again, this is one page of an 8-page report. There's more detailed analysis behind this. But this is a page we think should be in front of every client or prospect over the age of 60 with qualified money, because you will get their interest. You will show a value in doing this macro type of tax planning, and you will fill a funnel full of this type of prospects and clients that will write IUL over the course of the next 12 months. So the question we get always is, well, why wouldn't I use a Roth? It's on the report. Well, here's 2 lines for you, Mr. and Ms. Client. The unprotected Roth account is the bottom line. The IUL, which is what we prefer to use as a tax-free vehicle, is the top line. Which line would you have liked to invest on the last 20 years? And nobody picks the bottom line. It's just a given. We get to the same spot, but obviously with a lot less risk. And we like to remind folks of what the market did the first couple of weeks in March when COVID hit. And if you look at the S&P 500 the last 20 years, it averaged over 6% as a rate of return. In the first 2 weeks of March, the market lost 26%. The S&P average return went from over 6 to under 4.5% in 2 weeks. Well, what happened to the IUL investor in that same 2-week period? Nothing. Their value was protected, and that's what we like. Not only tax diversification, but we want to reduce the risk in the portfolio. And if you look at every major market downturn over the last 20 years, the IUL investor was protected and had a floor, and that's what we like. That's one reason why we like the IUL versus an unprotected account. Of course, then the living benefits, the death benefits, all those are just icing on the cake. But the tax reduction story that you can share, the income creation story that you can share through a tax-free source, and then the risk reduction through the indexing it tells a very powerful story, and one that will help you create a nice funnel of this type of business in your practice. Where we get tripped up, where a lot of people object, they say, well, I Googled insurance and it's expensive. Well, compared to what? If we're asking the right questions and we're good salespeople, we always say compared to what? And clients or prospects will always answer in a percentage form. They'll say, well, my mutual fund is 1%, or my 401k is charging me 2%. Whatever it is, it's typically a percentage answer. And if we get these illustrations from a carrier, they're 50, 60 pages, and a lot of times nobody knows what the heck they're looking at. And if you try to show the first 10 or 15 years and say, oh, it's really expensive here because it's front loaded, but in the last 10 or 15 years, it gets real inexpensive, and you try to explain that in this great big document. A lot of clients think you're maybe trying to pull the wool over their eyes, or you might get tripped up yourself because it's complicated. It doesn't need to be that way. You can get on our software. We plug in a couple of data points off of the illustration. And this is like Bill said, where we've done the heavy lifting is with the carriers, so that this is a compliant report that you can present in a simple way the cost of the IUL contract. So for Jim here, the IUL, and we showed him, remember, a tax savings of over $300,000 from the tax report. We didn't cover the income analysis here just for the purpose of time, but they showed very well, showing a tax-free source of income versus a qualified systematic withdrawal that's taxable. The cost of his IUL contract is going to be all in 1.3%. You can run these cost analysis reports, have them in your back pocket, so that you can say, okay, compared to what is this expensive? It's going to stack up very well to really whatever you want to compare it to. So these reports, our tax analysis reports, our income analysis reports, combined with the marketing material, the books, the webinars, the one-pagers, are really what's simplifying the sales process, so you can have a very simple tax diversification and tax savings and risk reduction story that you're putting out, showing clients their exact benefit by using our software to show a very simple story. So I didn't purposefully, we didn't have time to cover everything here today, but remember, we do have simplified IUL illustrations. So we can take a 50-page carrier illustration, boil it down to just a couple pages that you can present. It's clear and concise. Everybody knows exactly the value of the IUL, and it's compliant for you to use. We also have legacy planning reports. We have income analysis reports, and many, many other types of reports that are available through our software that you can utilize. So just be aware. As Bill mentioned, if you came to us off the street, our license to our software and marketing is $2,500, and we get it all day long from people that just Google us and find us. But coming through Levinson, you get a big discount. It's $1,800 a year, and what you get is the ability to do this conversion software, which is, taking this Jim here, doing a 5-pay, $75,000 a year. Average revenue is about 40 grand on a case like this, and that's a terrific return on investment if we found one case. If you build a funnel of these types of cases where we're closing one a month, now we've got 300 or 400 grand of new revenue from helping clients save hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in taxes, and redeploying and tax diversifying their assets, so that if tax rates move up aggressively over the next 30 years, you've helped the client diversify his portfolio and eliminate some of that tax risk. What we found is, if this is a prospect and you're just showing this to them as a value add and a differentiator, where you're showing this when nobody else is showing it to them, you're going to pick up the annuity business. You're going to pick up their AUM business as well. Remember, he had $1.5 million portfolio. We were just analyzing $500,000 to tax diversify their account. And this is where we see folks transforming their business by really showing this to the clients 60 and older, getting those tax reports in front of them, getting the books and the webinars. If you want to run a webinar like this, it's all set and ready to go for you. If you want to just send out books to get interest in the webinar, you can do that. Either way, we just want folks to come back and say, okay, we want to find out our specific tax and income benefit from utilizing some of these strategies, and you've got software to do it and present to clients and prospects. So really, that's what I wanted to share with you here. Promise to keep it short on time. Just know that we are available if you want to take a little deeper dive on this. Circle back with Levinson. We're happy to spend the time and share with you the exact recipe of how people are taking this marketing and software, presenting to clients and incorporating into their business, so that they can not only help clients like we've talked about today, but really drive a lot of new revenue for their business and the end of this year and into next year.
Great stuff. And Tyler, just so everyone is aware, once they're, obviously they can speak to you once they're active with us. We will set up the intro call and you're available. And then once they're a member, you're also available to help them through the system, right? It's a hands-on approach, correct?
Yes. Yes, once you're a member, we take you through an onboarding and training and show you the exact recipe that's worked for many advisors and agents across the country to really incorporate IUL in their practice. We also offer different trainings and study groups throughout the year. Our Masters IUL training is coming up in March. It's a great opportunity to start working with us now and then get comfortable with it. So March, this you can really hammer home. It's a 3-day over lunch Eastern time where we show you everything soup to nuts on how this works and how to incorporate it in your business. So as well as study groups, we'll have a study group on AG 49 coming up. All these things are resources available to our members, as well as assigning a Stonewood team member to your practice to help and mentor and coach all of this in conjunction with Levinson to be some support and back office for you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, because you know how a lot of these software platforms, everybody gets excited, and then when it's time to begin, someone gets lost in the shuffle and they have no support, and then that's the end of this great idea. And everybody wasted time and money, and that's it. So I think that's a huge key note that everyone needs to walk away with. So, and we're also here to help you, even if you want to just kind of kick the tires a little bit. We can run a sample illustration for you, no problem at all. Obviously, no charge. Also, I just thought about this. What I'm going to do, I love the Stonewood books. Okay, and they're huge. They tee up the IUL appointment perfectly. And yes, I'm going to give one away today to the winner, but I'm also going to get any of the agents on right now. We have hundreds and hundreds on. What I'm going to do, if you saw our 18 carrier IUL list that we showed in the beginning, if you're, let's say, active with one of those carriers with another IMO and you transfer to us, obviously we match or most of the time beat your commissions. Plus, you get free leads with your first app or cash for contracting. I'll also send you a free book. You get to pick. Okay, I'll pay for it. So if you transfer from another IMO to us, fill out the little coupon Joe's going to include in the thank you email, and I'll also send you a free book on us. Just send me an email and remind me, and I'll shoot it out to you, no problem at all. And I have the master list here. Okay, that was phenomenal. 100-foot overview, perfect. And just remember, they are the only game in town when it comes to carrier-approved IUL sales software systems. I don't care about all of this other marketing you're seeing, turnkey, free IUL platform, all this other BS in the market. There's nothing that's carrier compliant, okay? I promise you that, especially with 9 carriers. So, and these carriers have usually teams of attorneys that look into this stuff, and they make sure every T is crossed and I is dotted, and if there's one thing out of place, boom, it gets kicked out. So this is 100% up to par. Okay, what I also want to show you real quick is we put together a complete IUL experience platform. This is all complimentary, okay, for Levinson agents. And yes, Stonewood is part of this. Sage Scholarship is part of this. We have some other new tools, new lead programs. We also have I just thought about this too, Joe, the new mortgage protection lead system that we are launching early January. Okay, these are mortgage protection mailers starting at $6. Okay, there's nothing else like that. We're launching that in January. And again, even you're thinking, oh, mortgage protection, it's usually a non-med term with ROP. Okay, yeah, most of the time that's right. But also, it's your job to learn how to pivot, get these prospects on the phone, and then talk about an IUL, right? And then obviously show them the Stonewood presentation software. And this could take a turn from, a $3,000 target case to $17,000, $40,000, whatever it is. But anyway, you just need the opportunity to open the door, and then the rest is up to you. And our job is to show you these different ways to get the door open. Without further ado, Joseph Loughran's going to take the wheel from here and show everyone what's available for Levinson Resources. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So what we did to kind of make things very, very easy was put all the IUL sales material, including the software, case design ideas, consumer presentations, even training videos, snapshots on which carriers we have, which carriers might be best, and then kind of everything IUL on the IUL Experience microsites. This is actually a part of CarrieLevinson.com. We'll send out the link this afternoon so you can access every single one of these tabs. But I wanted to spend just a little bit of time kind of diving a little bit deeper just to show you what's underneath this actual website and kind of all the material that's included. So the first tab, I think it's super important. Obviously, you're going to use the Stonewood software to kind of get a custom presentation, but maybe you get to the point where you're looking to prospect or you're looking to present something either in a webinar or maybe a PowerPoint presentation. We have all that material that's carrier approved, compliant, underneath that consumer material and presentation tab. So here's a snapshot of exactly what it looks like. This is basically grab and go promotions, prospecting tools, training, all broken down by carrier and specifically for the IUL products. You can dive in here, kind of click on each carrier and actually see a presentation for their specific IUL product. So once you hone in on which carrier to use, maybe you've even kind of referenced with the Levinson marketing team on what company might be best. All these resources are available in real time. Another question I get asked almost daily is, agents that have typically sold maybe whole life or term insurance want to really brush up on some of the training. So we have a separate section that's available for agent training materials and videos. We've got everything from, our IUL sales guru, Joe Ross, to some specific training that we've recorded and actually posted to our YouTube channel. So you can dive in here and actually get training across all these different platforms, all these different products, really kind of understand how to present that IUL product as well. So really invaluable information here. Also, when it comes to looking at which carriers to use, we put together this great chart. Everyone today is going to get an email with a link to access this, but it actually shows you each carrier, their rating, the issue ages, whether you've got to be pre-appointed or not, if there's simplified underwriting, what the caps are. We know with AG 49, a lot of caps are being adjusted and reduced and all sorts of changes. So this will keep you up to date with every single carrier, every single piece of information, depending on what company you're presenting. And then you'll notice you can click on the specific carrier and access every one of their marketing materials, kind of learn more about the product. So we're constantly updating this to make sure you have the most relevant material based on the carrier. Also, a huge marketing platform. If you're not using the scholarship platform, definitely something to jump into. It basically gives your client up to 1 free year of tuition at about 415 plus colleges across the country. We have all sorts of information just focused around the scholarship platform for you to be able to market to your clients, whether it's a flyer, whether it's information on brochures you can customize, really FAQs on how the whole program works. This is great for the IUL concept because you're growing cash value and also giving them up to 1 free year of tuition. So if looking at IUL for college planning is the goal, I think combining the IUL product with the scholarship platform is really a no-brainer. That actually helps you kind of really be in a competitive situation where if there's any other agent that's marketing the IUL platform and the IUL product, you coming in with the scholarship platform, not only giving them the best IUL product, but also a way to save 25% on college tuition each year. Hands down, you're going to win in every single scenario. There's a neat snapshot on the bottom right. It's actually Bill. He's got the scholarship pin on, so this works great. Even if you're doing a Zoom meeting or a GoToWebinar and you've got your webcam up, a lot of agents say, oh, I've got my scholarship pin, but because of COVID, I don't go out as much. Well, that's no problem. If you're doing a presentation on any other product, wear your scholarship pin, and they're going to ask you, hey, what's with the pin on your shirt? You can bring up the scholarship platform and actually show them how you can develop a kind of a unique platform for them that other agents can, and really, again, put you in a great competitive scenario to help them with a custom design that you're definitely going to win 100% of the time. So great platform. We've got all the training, direct mail marketing, email marketing, all built into our website and platforms. So if you want more information on that, again, it'll be in today's thank you email, or just reach out to our marketing team. We can get you everything that you need to be dangerous. Also, Tyler already mentioned the IUL prospecting books. That is a great way. We've had agents literally ordering, 2025 every single month to be able to hand out to qualified prospects. They work amazingly well. A very simple, easy read, but a great way to get them to understand the IUL sales concept. Bill already mentioned the mortgage protection leads. We also have a live transfer lead program as well that you can actually get in touch with live prospects and kind of pivot from maybe a term sale or final expense sale or permanent GUL sale into the IUL marketplace. So a lot of great lead resources that are available through the Levinson platform as well.
Okay. Good stuff, Joe. All right, we're just about done here. We ran a little bit over, but again, last training of the year. We want to make sure we get everything in, and most important, you're off to a great start for 21, and this isn't just talk and hype, okay? We want you to walk away with nuggets so you are off to the races in 21, and we're here to help, and I'm going to explain to everyone exactly how we can help, even with making the sale for you. Okay, you're probably turning up the volume right now. Bill, what are you talking about? Making the sale for us. Okay, so we have 3, if you want to call them consultants, financial advisors, whatever the case is. These are 3 people that work for either vendors or carriers that will help you make the sale. So in other words, if you have that prospect, right, that fits into, it could be a life settlement, it could be a premium finance case, it could be tax savings or retirement solutions, right? You have the perfect prospect, but maybe you're not comfortable with this part of the market, okay? No problem. So what we can do, you let us know, okay, and depending on those 3 areas, we will get, we have 3 go-to people. Mary Reed is one of them, a best-selling author when it comes to retirement savings. She will get on the phone with you and your client and make the sale for you, okay? The same thing goes for life settlement and premium finance. We just had a case, and I want to point this out real quick. Look at the right-hand side, okay? This was a agent commission of $350,000 that happened this year, early this year, okay? Just right before COVID, actually. So this was a PI attorney, had an existing case with Mass, $2 million death benefit, UL plan, cash value was $350,000. The agent, okay, brought this up to the prospect because it's his book of business, and he said, hey, what if we can turn that $2 million into $12 million on an IUL plus give you free living benefits, okay? And you won't pay a penny more of premium. Would you do it? He said, absolutely, okay? So what we did is we took the existing case, we use premium finance. We have a great program that doesn't take any commission split, 0. Okay. In fact, we even have a new program that starts at a minimum net worth of just $1 million that opens the door to lots and lots of prospects. So anyway, getting back to the case. So what we did is we took the $350,000, we 1035 that into the new IUL. We matched the premiums, and the client got 6 times his initial death benefit. Okay. Same premium out of pocket, agent commission, $350,000 with a 0% commission split to our third-party premium finance vendor. So that is a game changer. That changes your year. One prospect, and this could be sitting in your book of business. So we now have a premium finance consultant that will jump on the phone with you, and then of course Mary Reed that I just mentioned, and we have a life settlement expert that, let's say you have a client that has a UL or whole life, even a term policy. They don't need any more. Maybe they're not healthy. They're older, over 65, and we can get them a cash out settlement. And maybe you're not comfortable with the lingo, right? And you want some help. Well, we have just the person that will jump on the call or webinar with you and your prospect or client, okay, and get it all done for you. So keep that in the back of your mind. I think it's so important. All of this talk is great, but as soon as it comes time to some complicated questions and answers, you might run across a dead end or with maybe some obstacles in front of you. So we're here to help. So always keep that in mind. All right, moving forward, the podcast I am the most excited about is the one coming up in January. That is our top agent that's up 60% over the prior year during a pandemic. That's going to be freaking awesome. I'm so excited about it. I hope you listen in. That's January. What I wanted to talk about real quick was December's episode. This was a big one too. So Mark Totundo He is here when it comes to selling, let's say, business owners, right? If it's a key man, buy, sell, whatever the case is, if you're looking at some tax strategies for business owners, Mark will jump on the phone with you and your client and help you make the sale. These are also huge cases. And we have this new software that's available for free. If you're a Levinson agent, what this does, it allows you to dial in a zip code or area code, and it gives you all of the local businesses in your area and tells you how many employees they have. It tells you what group benefits are being offered. It gives you all of the information so you can pick up the phone, you know enough to be dangerous, and make some big sales. So check that one out, episode 26. Also, if you want that free IUL prospecting book, go on. I don't care if it's iTunes, Spotify, Pandora. If you want to use YouTube, leave a comment, okay, what you thought of the podcast. Tell me if it was great, you didn't like it, maybe I need some constructive criticism. Whatever the case is, I want to hear from you so I can make these better. If you leave a comment, I send you that IUL prospecting book free. Done. Joe, let's move forward. Just about done here. We're going to move quick, okay? So I wanted to mention Mary Reed, the distribution solution concept. By the way, using the LSW IUL or the Lafayette Life Whole Life products, because she handpicked two of the top performing products in the industry when it comes to the more conservative client or the more aggressive client, depending on your prospect. So she has these three awesome books. We also did this two-part training series. She was also on my podcast as well. I encourage you. By the way, the average case is like $80,000 to $90,000 by using her distribution solution sales concept. So another great value add. Check this stuff out. It's there. It's free. Take advantage of this. Joe, let's move forward here real quick. This is the cash for contracting incentive that I mentioned earlier, or leads for contracting. Plus, like I said, transfer one of the IUL carriers to us, okay, one of those contracts, and I'll give you either cash for contracting, leads for contracting, and that free IUL prospecting book. These are upcoming agent training events. That's what you're on right now. We have a few big ones I'm going to point out, and then we're going to end today's call. So real quick, this is our January kickoff series, Levinson 2020 in review, what worked and what didn't. January 4th, the new year, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We have a new carrier launch, Columbus, a Western Southern Life carrier. Where this is going to be another big one, January 7th, 3 p.m. And on the bottom there, another huge IUL webinar. And the reason why this is a big one, we handpicked one of the top IUL consultants, nothing to do with Levinson, okay? So he talks about all products, carriers, the industry as a whole, and of course, AG 49, that's on the 14th. And then we have our annuity kickoff webinar on the 26th of January, another big one. Let's wrap up with our question of the day. This is very easy, so I hope you get it right. Actually, I'm going to do the Positive Tuesday first. I'm sorry. Left-hand side, these are the top 4 performing posts of the year. Okay, I'm not going to read each one, but this is on all of our social media pages. But check it out, okay, especially it's Positive Tuesday, folks. Come on. I want everyone to be motivated. And again, every situation, there's some positive light, right? It's up to you to find it. Jump in, make it happen. I don't care what's going on around you. There's some positivity. Okay, question of the day, real quick. Have your little fingers on the keyboard and ready to rock and roll. Question is, how many IUL carriers does Levinson offer? I said it 4 times in the last hour. Tell me how many IUL carriers we offer to you all. You win. What is the magic number? Joe, do we have a winner?
We do. The winner is Russ V from Texas.
Russ V from Texas. The number is 18. Russ, congratulations. Have a wonderful, happy, and healthy new year. Thanks to you all. We would never be sitting here today doing this webinar if it wasn't for you. So thanks again. Let's hope 21 brings lots of health, number 1, and happiness, number 2. Take care, and thanks again.